When we first started Gerard, I was 26 years old. And so with that came a lot of pressure to establish credibility and for the experience or the, expertise that I lacked, I made up for in work ethic. Work was by far my number one priority. The same year that I founded Gerard alongside my 3 partners, I met my husband.
When I met Anne, I was in Charlotte at the time. She was in Nashville. And so we sort of immediately hit it off. And then we started to long distance date.
We were really able to focus on building our careers, which for both of us really mattered to us when we weren't together. When the time came for one of us to move, he really took one for the team. Moved to Nashville, and a couple years later we have our firstborn Beckett, and then a couple years after that we have Ella, and having a family was truly one of the greatest joys of my life. I mean, the truth is, I thought I could just sort of have it all, right? That I could continue at the pace that I had been running.
I think in my quiet moments alone, I was like, this should be great, but yet somewhere deep inside me, I was like, but it doesn't feel great. And I couldn't put my finger on it at the time.
If I'm honest with myself, my husband and my friends and my own physical health really got the breadcrumbs.
COVID hit, she's working from home, I'm working from home. I thought our marriage would sort of ascend the priority ladder.
Here we were, all the noise that is typical of life sort of went away, and you're there in your home together, and we couldn't have felt further apart.
She was presented with the opportunity to succeed David as CEO, and my immediate reaction was, I think this will make our marriage worse. I love her, and I love our kids, I love our family. I knew it could be better. I wasn't quite sure how, but I wasn't going to give up.
So I get this email from a guy named Chris Bishop, and he had heard that I was going to be named CEO of Gerard. He reached out and he introduced me to Dewey Green, who is the C12 chair for his forum. My husband and I met with Dewey, and it was an incredibly powerful experience. It was a glimpse of hope in a really dark season. And Dan said, you have to do this. You can't take on this new role as CEO and not do this. So I agreed to go to a first C12 meeting, but I really had no idea what I was in for. So I walk in and I definitely have my game face on. And I was prepared to certainly share about my family and about my CEO transition. But then what I witnessed as each person went around the table, they were sharing really real things about their life. And I just decided to abandon the script. As I wrapped up whatever I said, Rich Eller grabbed my hand and said, we're going to pray for your marriage right now. I think the healing really began on that day, but it's been a real journey.
A lot of things just started to happen naturally. She was more present at home with the children. She was more present with me and prioritized us.
We built additional habits. We started praying together. It is the single most impactful habit that we have now.
Work success is great, but it's not everything. There's got to be more. The idea of the balance wheel was really what was valuable to me. A group of peers who all have demanding jobs, but also know that the job can't consume them and that someone would keep them accountable.
I needed a lifeline, and C12 was the lifeline I could never have imagined, but I so desperately needed. And these are people who I have built such trust with, who love me, who hold my feet to the fire, who don't tell me what I want to hear, who make sure that I am making the right choices, the healthy choices, so that I can be the kind of wife and mother and leader and child of God that I want to be and that I can be.